Hi, in this video we're going to play with some mutations and some queries that are related to the conduit closure functionality. Probably gonna divide it up a bit because otherwise the video will just stuck. Uh, so, but um, let's first do some very basic stuff. Let's just add a conduit closure to a node. So, um, and the way you do that is to use that mutation that's called place conduit closure. And one thing you can see here is that I have actually grouped them the mutation into a little hierarchy here. This was a recommendation I saw on the net, so that you can, if you have many mutations, it's a good idea to kind of divide them up in different types or different, uh, group them so you don't have like a very big class with all the mutations in. So I have done this. I have like a conduit service uh, type that kind of contains all the mutation that has something to do with the conduit service. And inside that, there's again some types. That's for example the conduit closure type, where all the different commands you can send to the conduit closure are to be found. So if you look at the documentation, um, you can also see that you start here by mutation. So the first level is conduit service, and here we'll have more. It will be a root service, there will be fiber service, there will be circuit service. Have not put them in yet. So right now it's just a conduit service, and inside this you can see here we have three types, something called conduit closure, multi-conduit, or single conduit. And this is the three groups of different types of commands. So conduit closure, you have here these commands you can send to that guy. Attach conduit end to closure, attach pass by conduit to closure, place conduit closure, remove conduit closure. And if you take multi conduit, there's some stuff you can do here. You can cut the outer conduit, cut the inner conduit, and connect the inner conduit to a junction. And a single conduit, you can just connect a single conduit to a junction. There's still there's many more commands, many more mutations you can actually do in the system, but I have just put the ones in here that so we can play with the conduit closure functionality. I gonna put them all in, of course, but it takes a bit time to do it actually. So, but now you know the kind of the structure of the mutation, how you can navigate through that. Okay. So the first mutation we're going to do is that we're going to place the conduit closure inside a node. And yeah, let's do it. First, let's query the node to see that there's I have this node here that's con 122. This is the DA1010 node in our test network. And if you're gonna query that right now, you can see here I query the conduit closure stuff inside it. But right now there's no conduit closure in that node, so you will just get a null back because it's not there. It's nothing to show. So, but if I place this conduit closure, um, it will get put in. Um, so you have to specify a unique ID for the conduit closure. And actually, you don't need to specify that one. This one is not mandatory because if you don't put that one on, the system will automatically create one for you. The point of interest is mandatory. This is where you want to place the conduit closure as is the node, the ID of the node. So we're going to place it here, which is the DA1010, and we are going to give it the conduit closure this ID. And the reason I do that is because I'm going to use it in the other queries and relate to it. So it's easy for me to give it one. So let's try that. And yeah, you can see it returns back that whatever I have said I want back, so it returns the conduit closure back. So if I could have put more here if I want something back. So basically, it mutates the object and returns the object back as it looks like after the mutation. That's the idea with this. And yeah, that's GraphQL stuff. Already know that. Um, what I was thinking about something. Well, yeah, if in real life, or the way we're going to use the system is that we can only place one conduit closure in a node. You cannot place multiple conduit closures in a node. And the reason we don't want to allow the user to do that is because the the conduit closure is very important that they are measured and surveyed so we know exactly where they are in real life. So someone go out and figure out where they are and measure with the instrument. And if you place them in the same node, we cannot register that information. So we have to always to place all the conduits in separate nodes. So this is why that actually this error is really bad. It says I cannot use this ID here, but let's try to change it. So say now it's a legal request, and it says okay, a conduit closure is already placed in the specified point of interest. Only one conduit closure allowed per point of interest. So this is what it's saying here. And let's go back to this and try to query. And now you can see that we got our conduit closure. It has these sites. I have changed it actually, so it's don't use these around the clock numbers anymore because they were really a drag and make everything extremely difficult. And I also talked to the user, and they don't need the ability to kind of rotate the whole closure, so they would rather have the ability to maybe move some conduits from you move the port from one side to another if they change their mind on something. So in the planning process, so we will not, so it'll be quite static now. We have this top, right, bottom, left. I have actually wrote it down here somewhere. Yeah, so it looks like this now. Left, top, right, bottom, port 1, port 2, and so on the sides, and then the terminals. And that it will always look like this. So yeah, so this is how we're gonna place a conduit closure in the node. And I think I'm gonna stop here before the video capture program comes with an error. So in the next video, I will try to actually connect some conduits to this closure and stuff like that. So see you in the next video.